What's going on, guys and gals? Stock Jock here, up $889 after the first. Actually, it's actually about the first hour and a half of trading. So let's get into the trades. So this morning, Bitcoin had jumped about $1,500 from below somewhere in the $6,000 range, $6,700 range, up to over $8,000, something like that. Big jump. One of the bigger jumps it's had in the past couple 3 months. So with that in mind, I thought all the blockchain plays would be on the table, and they ended up being on the table. My idea was to just jump in one, whichever one started moving the fastest, and just ride it out. And I was hoping to hold for like 30 minutes to an hour. But what ended up happening is they just didn't get the momentum that I thought they'd get. It was a pretty big jump in Bitcoin, and usually Bitcoin makes all these stocks just freak out. And they popped, some of them popped, and then they all sold off. So I was watching a few. Riot, MARA is the one I actually ended up trading here, and NETE were just three that I was watching. I missed the move on NETE because the chat room got into it and pumped it beyond what I was willing to jump in at. So that one was out of play. But MARA, it got a little volume spike, so I jumped in that one. I was looking for the 150 break, but I also thought, all right, this thing's going to go to $2 pretty easily. Great day for Bitcoin. This thing's going to 2. It popped over 150. I'm like, I should have sold half. I could always rebuy, right? But I really thought it was going to go fast. It's only an 8 million share float. But there was just so much selling for an 8 million share float, and I just didn't understand it. Popped over 150, came all the way back down, and I actually had to sell before I went red on it. So one of my rules is if I'm green on a trade, I don't allow myself to go red on it. So I ended up getting out of this with a small profit when I could have had, $200.
What a percent now?
MARA as well. I'm going to go long MARA 143. So I wanted to talk about my exit on this trade. So here, we got that pop over 150, pulled back to the VWAP. We just had this green candle close off the bounce of the VWAP, and now we're inside the current candle. So my thought process is on this is if we can go candle over candle on the 1 minute here, we get that next leg up. And I absolutely had a stop loss now is the break of this green candle, that little green candle there, which would also lead to the break of the VWAP. So we already had a pullback. So, in my mind, we're curling here. We're curling back up. But if the curl is rejected and we actually go candle under candle, I got to sell. I got to bail. The candlesticks are telling me it's not ready. And that's what ended up happening. I sell for a small profit, small win, and, it does flush out a little bit. I want to see Mara go candle over candle. I'll stop out here if 145 breaks. Alright, I gotta respect it. 145 broke for me. And I'll get back in if 148 can get, but I just don't want to go red on it. I had a chance to go green very nicely over 150. Didn't take it. So MARA, I'm willing to give it another shot here. Again, I'm, right now, NETE, another blockchain company, starting to rip. So I got my eye on MARA to move again. It's one of the few blockchain stocks that had volume at this time of day. So I'm watching it. What I see here is we break the VWAP, then it pops above the VWAP, and then it pulls back again on the 1 minute here, the last 1 minute candle. It goes candle under candle, but it doesn't flush out. So when that happens, I like to play off of that candle. So inside this current candle here, a lot of times I'll go candle over candle looking for the next move up. What also coincided here is a huge buyer showed up. You can see it right here in this picture at 144. 121,000 shares, a buyer. So when I saw that, I actually bought double position. I went 4,000 shares, and I sell the first half into the initial pop, and I let the second half ride until it feels like it's stalling out. But and I ended up selling that second half just a moment too soon because it did make another move, up. But this one turned into a nice little win. Big bidder just showed up on Riot, so I'm going in 146. There's a 126,000 share buyer. And he's gone. Oh, he's back. And he's gone. Looks like a spoofer, I don't know. Mara's feeling really heavy, though, for being only an 8 million share float stock. High's 155. We got to break 155.
TSLA Tesla electric tweet. Elon Musk comments on Tesla Model 3 delays and production hell. The tweet from Electric.
This would be really good if Bitcoin stock started running for trading. It'd be really exciting. I agree on Momo.
Sold half at 152 on Mara. I'll stop out the rest under 148. I'll add for the first 1 minute candle over candle here, looking for the high day break. If this is a pullback candle, if this stays as a pullback candle. Testing 155. Last selling here. Kind of a 1 minute bull flag here on Mara.
China Commerce Ministry says misleading to say President Xi's speech this week is a concession on to the U.S. on the trade issue.
I mean, we've got 3 million shares traded on Mara already, and it's only an 8 million share float. Like, what the heck, Mara? And it's only, well, it's up 40 cents now, but this thing should be moving a lot faster. NET 5 minute. Careful on NET. You got
does not misjudge the situation.
You got Jason Bond's group in it. They're going to sell over 9 probably. All right, I'm getting out the rest. 158 on MARA. Oh, there's that huge buyer again. Shoot. So this trade, there really isn't the clearest of entry points that I can point to and say, this is why I took the trade. This is what was going through my head. So Mara, MARA, had just done a nice pop-up, a nice little run. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe Riot will do the exact same thing. So what I'm looking for in an entry here, I was looking for the break of the VWAP, thinking that maybe a 743 broke, which is the high of that red candle there. If that broke, maybe we get the VWAP pop, which bring volume in. People get eyes on it again, thinking, oh, Mara just did this kind of a pop. Maybe Riot will do the pop. And we do get a pop over 750. I was up quite a bit on this. This is kind of a longer trade. I actually hold this for about 5 minutes, and I'll show you the whole 5 minutes. I sell half, I add back, and I'm really hoping for the 780 break on it. And you can kind of see it in the daily chart. It's the most recent pop on the daily chart. I thought if we could break 780, 785, whatever, that it would just get going. But we get close to it, it rejects the level, sells off pretty hard, and I have to take my profit, even though it's not as much as I was up. But I have to get out around 760 is what I get the rest out at. I'm watching Riot, see if I can put in a 1 minute bottom and the candle over candle here. Maybe the break of 143. All right, I'm gonna try it at 743. We're double topping though. I'm not really thrilled about that.
I have a couple different options. I have an offset to sell right at the ask, and I have offset to sell underneath the ask.
I believe personally, John, that Bitcoin's going to head up today, gap tomorrow, and head up again.
So if we have a very
right now is traded the
stock,
try on a Friday.
FOXA 21st Century Fox says notes announcement today. Takeover panel, UK takeover panel regarding requirement for Disney to make a mandatory offer remains committed to its recommended cash offer for Sky, announced on
Testing the
December
VWAP here, Riot.
2016. That's FOXA and DIS. Foxtrot Oscar Alpha Delta India Sandy.
If Riot can't go on a day like this for Bitcoin, it ain't ever gonna go. Breaking VWAP, Riot.
It won't prevent me from making moves, put it that way. It's not going to prevent me from trading, but it is something that could thwart the momentum again, as we've seen with other news elements. Yeah, well, so because Bitcoin moved up so much this morning, so you can always look for higher low setups or sympathy. Bitcoin stocks that haven't moved yet. I gave you a really good list of Bitcoin stocks this morning on this scan, and I would take a look at this. I'll put it in the chat room too.
So right over 780 could get nice and juicy.
Zora, $15 on 300,000.
High day is 775. It's a big seller there.
Still early.
Golly, there's some sellers.
Uniform Oscar.
Sold half, 750.
I went half size on both, so I'd be willing to double up at some point in time today. Probable swings unless I get some decent returns on them, which is entirely possible today. You know my targets. So fill the coffee mug, get back to looking for more. But we're doing pretty good right now.
HOG, Hotel Oscar Golf Harley Davidson, getting a pop to the high, 42.59. Hearing some renewed activist chatter being circulated in chat rooms that's unconfirmed on HOG.
Well, with SureTrader, you can't do direct routing, so you just have to use their smart route, unfortunately.
Looking to add on Riot for the 1 minute candle over candle. If this one kind of holds as a pullback candle. Or if 780 breaks, that might be an add. All right, so over 763 is an add on Riot. Break of 752 is I'll stop out probably, or 750. Adding back on Riot. Come on, Riot.
Someone must have called it in the room.
Come on, Riot.
I got it at 8:50. So I think someone must have called it in the room.
We need this 770 break, and then I think it's on. Come on!
ZUO indicating $18 now on 600,000. Zulu uniform Oscar.
Sold half. I tried to sell at 770, and I sold at 760. What a freaking fill that was.
Following that.
Sold the rest 760. Yeah, I'll wait for the 1 minute candle over candle here. Jeez. So I'm really being sloppy on my exits today, and you know, actually doing this video actually helps me, and I'm like, I should be scalping these, and I'm not. But anyway, here we go. Riot, this is kind of a high day break after kind of a pullback. You know, I'm willing to try a high day here. More significantly is there's a big block at 775, and a lot of times when these big blocks on the ask, they get taken out, they create a lot of volume. So we just had a 1 minute pullback, tapped the VWAP, came back up, hitting this big block at 775, breaking through it. You know, it was a double top, now it's a triple top, and triple tops usually break. So I enter in here 775 with all this other volume. It pops up. I'm looking, okay, we're going to go to $8. I'm very green on the trade, and this is a classic case of not taking your profits. It pops up, it gets in the 790s. I'm thinking $8. I should have sold half, I didn't, and it ends up pulling back pretty hard and rejecting that $8 level, and I actually sell for a $30 loss on this. Back in Riot 774. So that's 780 level. Looks like we got 8 in our targets here. Or if people could just sell like crazy. Oh gosh. Heavy selling. I'm getting out. I actually lost money on that trade. That's ridiculous. So this next trade was brought to me by a chat room. They brought it to my attention. I flip over to it. I immediately see that it had a high of 209. It pulled back under $2. Now we're about to, you know, we had a 1 minute candle pull back here, and now we're about to go candle over candle. I try to get in for the break of $2. It didn't work out. I hear the chat room talking about how they want to jump in this potentially. So that's, you know, two things going in my favor. I jump in, get a quick pop, and I sell this time. Thank goodness. For a scalp, like I should have been doing with Riot twice, but I didn't. So anyway, get the quick scalp, 10 cents, and I'm happy for that trade.
Micro pullback. Might be a scalp setup there. Over 210.
Long MYND, chat room pump.
25,000 share buyer at 95.
And I'm out 213. So NETE, this one had made a 5-minute wedge. If you can kind of look at the top left-hand corner, there's a bit of a wedge that it created, and it actually broke to the downside of this wedge. It broke 850, and then it popped right back up. And a lot of times out of these shapes that you can form on charts, if it doesn't work one direction that it should have, like in this case, it should have broken down after it broke the bottom side of that wedge, a lot of times it will work to the upside in reverse. So that was one thing I was watching. The second thing is the chat room started to talk about this, and you kind of hear them talk about it, whatever. And I really thought if the VWAP broke on this, it would just take off. What ended up happening is it got up to the VWAP, and it rejected it hard, and then it started pushing back down towards 850 again, broke 850, and it stopped me out. So I actually lost money on this trade.
I think Riot has also come down too much. NETE looks better to me because at least NETE is below the VWAP. Riot is come back below the VWAP.
I'm going to jump in a little bit at NETE here.
Actually, NETE is just below it, but
Chat rooms keep talking it up. So they might, if any kind of volume spike comes into this, they'll probably jump in. Really half size on this. If 850 breaks again, I'll just get out.
AMZN, Amazon, and Ring close acquisition. Alpha Michael's in November.
All right, stopped out on NETE. Did not like the way that 5-minute candle set up there. So my C-base short here, this is, there's two reasons why I took this short. First reason is yesterday's chart, it actually popped up quite a bit, but sold off almost 100% of that move at one point in the day. So it was very weak yesterday. And this move today really didn't do too much either. I mean, it did pop from $13 to $14, right? But it was on light volume. And then we just had this, if you look at the 5-minute chart, this huge spike from 1385 down to 1360. The break of the VWAP there. And then off the VWAP, it bounced, and it bounced on a really weak volume. I mean, the candle that it spiked down hit 21,000. The first green candle off the bounce was like 9,000, and then the current candle we're in, not even 5,000. So really weak volume bounce. So that tells me it wants to curl back down. So what I do is this little green line you see in there on the 1-minute chart, that's the 9-minute moving average, simple moving average, not it's not an EMA. I just use that as my entry. I'm saying, okay, it bounced up a little bit. I'm going to enter here. My stop loss on this was going to be over 1390, which would have been a complete reversal in my opinion. But I just got in there. I was going to give it a few cents up to that area as a stop loss. And the idea is it bounced off that VWAP, and I was going to curl back down, break the VWAP this time, and I was going to sell on the other side of the or cover on the other side of the VWAP, and it worked out perfectly.
DAL Delta getting a spike to the high on volume 53.29.
Right, I'm taking a short on CBay here at 1378. Just bounced off the VWAP. It's hitting the 9-minute moving average. I'm using that as my entry point. And stop loss will probably be over 1390.
So 2,000 shares, stop. We'll make this a good till canceled order. So my stop price is right there, and that's just going to be sitting here in my open orders until it executes.
Minus 19 BCF on natural gas, getting a pop here.
Yeah, you could use a stop limit if I wanted. I use a stop
versus the minus
limit
14 estimate, minus 19
stop price is 501.
natural
and the
gas
limit price would have to be like
popping
490,
on that.
Right, it's got to be lower than the stop. Yeah, it says stop and then a limit. You could put in email us if you're having a question that I'm not answering here, but let me just try
dollar
canceling
spike there
this.
from 52.40 went to some news, so took that short.
All right, so
It was 53 when I put my order in, and it spiked to 53.11. But
okay, so yeah, it looks like it took my order. So maybe send us a screenshot of the error you're getting, or whatever. We can take a peek at it.
CFO of Russia's Severstock says had stopped steel supplies to the U.S. before tariffs were introduced.
There we go, CBay. All right, covered up 1349. And that's how I ended the first, I guess, hour and a half of trading, up $889. And I haven't made any more trades since then. So if you have any questions on my trading style, feel free to find me in my free Discord chat. Link for that is in the description down below.